Hey folks, Malforian here and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at Dev Diary 127 as well as a bunch of art things. This is also showing off the achievements that are coming as part of the Lance update, which is out obviously the same day as the expansion tours and tournaments. So we're just going to take a look through the achievements, see which ones look fun. Let me know in the comments down below which one you're going to be trying out on launch day. But yeah, we're just going to get straight into it. So we've only got one easy achievement, and this is Hunting Accident, Succeed with Murder Intent whilst on a hunt. I think pretty easy. I'd agree with that. You're going to get this just through normal gameplay, I think. And then we're straight on to medium, the Grandest Tour. Visit 10 Kingdom tier vassals on a tour. As they say here, you could couple this with Restoring Rome or something like that. I think there is another achievement, I forget the name of it, where it's to have, I think, is it 10 kingdoms under your dynasty? You could couple it with that one as well, I suppose, as well. I mean, this one's medium. I suppose it is, because, you know, once you get large enough in the game, if you have 10 kingdom tier vassals, you can just visit them pretty easily on a tour, I would imagine. It costs you a lot of money, I would think, but it's not exactly super difficult. And we got Imperial March as an emperor. Go on an intimidation tour, visiting all your powerful vassals. So this one, I guess, is medium. I'd almost think this one was easy. I suppose you've got to be an emperor, so unless you start as an emperor, you know, as the HRE or something like that, I suppose it is kind of difficult to get to. Not that difficult, though. I suppose it's still medium rated. And yeah, just do an intimidation tour, put the fear into your vassals, and get an added achievement as well. Black Dinner, successfully host a murder feast or a bloody wedding. And this is a reference to a historical Black Dinner hosted in 1440 by King James II of Scotland. Do you know what? I didn't even know that, so we've learned something today as well. I guess you've got to go down certain trees and stuff to do the bloody wedding. I would imagine most of us who are going to start playing with the expansion are probably going to try Beeline to do one of these anyway, so a nice easy achievement really for you, as you're probably going to be trying to do that just to see kind of how they play out. And then the very best, finish any track on the Hastilda trait, which is all linked to tournaments and things like that. So what's this one, a medium still? Do you know what? Yeah, I suppose this one is medium difficulty. You've got to finish the whole track, so I suppose you have got to, you know, have a leader and then have them do enough tournaments to build up the trait. So as it says here, horse, foot, archery, or wit, which will be your starter? Let me know in the comments down below which one you're going to try max out first. 1001 Nights, orchestrate a grand wedding where the spouses also become soulmates. I guess this is the first one where it's like a bit of randomness to it, because you could set up a grand wedding, but for them to also become soulmates, I guess is kind of a little bit out of your control. I suppose if you were playing as one of the grand wedding people, you could work on becoming a soulmate a little bit more. Although just say orchestrate a grand wedding where the spouses become soulmates, so it's not necessarily about you. You're setting up a grand wedding with somebody else, which isn't your actual character you're playing. It works both ways by the looks of it. I would imagine this is a lot easier if it's you that's part of the grand wedding, because you can work on becoming a soulmate. But if you're just marrying like your son or something, I guess it's kind of a little bit out of your control. But again, I don't think too difficult to get this. Lions and tigers and bears, oh my. Capture a large wild animal whilst on a hunt. Kind of just down to chance this one, but it'd be fun to do whilst you're doing hunts. Fly, my pretty. Finish the falconer track in the hunter trait. Now, I think this one's expansion only, because I can't remember. I think in the dev diary they said the hunter trait is expansion only. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I seem to recall that being the case. Just finish off the falconer track. So I guess if you just do a lot of hunts, you'll get this one. Pathway to Heaven. With any one character, go to pilgrimages to all your holy sites. This could be a fun little kind of campaign to do, especially if you're not like the Emperor, the HRE, or just someone really powerful where this isn't that difficult. You just have to do the pilgrimages on maybe a youngish character, so you can do enough. By the time you die, go to each one, because there's usually, 5? You can only do pilgrimages every so often, and you'd have to visit each one separately. I would imagine they're quite expensive now to do versus the original version of how you do pilgrimages. So again, I don't think this was too hard. I suppose it is on medium. I'd probably say medium's fine for this. It'd be a fun little campaign to do, though. Do this, get all 5 of them, and then you're, you know, like a crazy pilgrimage-focused character. And then Sir Lance-a-Lot. Participate in a joust with a maxed out horse Hastilda track. Oh, so you could couple this one with the one up here, this one. The very best. Finish any track on the trait, one of them being horse, and then you could do this. Participate in a joust with a maxed out. So these two kind of complement each other quite well. To be honest, quite a lot of these, as we'll get further into it, kind of complement each other, where you could do multiple of them on the same kind of campaign. So you've just got to fill out the horse track, and then you can just do this. It's nothing too crazy. And then we're on to the hard ones now. Your eternal reward as a regent Successfully coup your liege and take their realm without a war or scheme. That one will be fun to do. So yeah, you've just got to make yourself, I guess, be a regent and then lead a coup against your liege and just take the realm off them. It's going to be pretty fun. I imagine many of you, again, are going to try do this anyway, so it's kind of a cool one. Make sure you turn those achievements on, though. You got to have that Iron Man on, no mods, and then you can try it and give it a go. There and back again. Finish both tracks of the Traveller trait. I guess we'll have to see how hard these are to max out, especially the Traveller one. Especially if you're doing a lot, again, if you're doing a lot of these pilgrimages and stuff, I would imagine you'd fill this out quite easily. Not easily, but if you're doing like the 5 pilgrimages to each, one to each holy site, or 4, however many it is, you're probably going to get quite far on this, plus obviously all the hunts and things you're going to be doing in the meantime, and tournaments. I'd imagine you'd be able to not really think about doing this one, and you'd probably finish it anyway on a campaign if you play long enough. And then A Knight's Tale, obviously a reference to the movie, have one of your lowborn knights win a joust, and then land them. So yeah, I guess they've got to win the joust, and then you give them a title of any kind. So I guess just keep an eye out. See who wins the joust, and then land them, and you get the achievement. Not too bad. In My Elements, pass through every terrain, including sea and ocean, on the same travel. So as they say here, the QA department said this should be under very hard. I guess I can see why it's just under hard, because, again, if we talk about like being the Emperor, the HRE, or the Byzantines or something, if you've got a lot of money, it's not that difficult. I guess the hard bit is just having the money. Because otherwise, you can just open up the terrain map and just make sure you pass through every kind. It's going to be long, so that's why I'm thinking you're going to have a lot of money, because it's going to be a long tour to cover every terrain type. I'm sure within a couple of days, someone will be on Reddit with a map of like the perfect way to go. There'll be somewhere in like India or the steppes or somewhere where you somehow cover every terrain type in a relatively easy tour. But I will see this one again. You're probably going to have to focus on doing this. You're probably not going to accidentally achieve this one. So that's one you're going to have to, think about as you're playing. A true and perfect knight, having max rank acclaimed knight with the Warrior of Faith Crusader trait. Okay. Again, we don't know how hard it is to get a max rank acclaimed knight. I don't think they ever went into exactly how long that takes. So depending on how long that is, again, just get an acclaimed knight and then give him the Crusader trait. I mean, just join a crusade and make him one of your commanders or something like that. Definitely will get the trait then. It's not too difficult. Ailu and me, standing as the Habsburgs, rule the Archduchy of Austria, arrange 5 grand weddings, and don't wage war. As they say in the blurb here, this was already one of the hardest titles to create, the Archduchy of Austria, because you have to have a strong hook on the Emperor of the HRE, so that is pretty difficult to get. If you watch my campaign, we did a Rise of the Habsburgs, starting as that Count, which is the only Habsburg in the game that's landed at the beginning, and we built him all the way up to basically own all the Habsburg land that they historically did. And yeah, getting the Archduchy of Austria is awesome, but it is ridiculously hard because you have to get that strong hook on the Emperor, and it's really difficult to get. Well, now you've got to do that. Then you've got to have 5+ grand weddings and never do any wars. I'm guessing that's only like offensive wars. I'm guessing it's not war declared on you. It invalidates this. It must be wars you've declared and never waging war. So I guess, it must be ones where you declare war on somebody else. So you've got to get all of this without doing any wars. Like getting the Archduchy of Austria, like getting the land itself was hard enough doing wars, but you've got to do it without having war with anyone. So this is all about, that historical Habsburg thing of getting land through marriages and stuff like that, I suppose. It's going to be fun. I'm surprised is this one just hard? Yeah, this should be under very hard, I think, anyway. I think this really should get moved down to very hard because it will be a fun campaign, but it is going to be really difficult. But yeah, this one's going to be cool. This one's going to be really cool to do. Like I say, I would do on the channel, but we've already done like a full Habsburg campaign, so maybe in the future we'll see this one. The Iron and Golden King have a capital barony with 60+ income, and a 500+ size stationed heavy cavalry unit and a special mine. So obviously this is just having a really built up barony and then having a stationed heavy cavalry unit. We've seen that is one of the changes coming with the expansion, with the free patch, where you station your men-at-arms in certain places to give them bonuses rather than them just being like generic bonuses in total. So kind of interesting, that's kind of how this works in. And then have a special mine, so that does limit, obviously, the places you can do it. As they say here, Bohemia is a good place to start because there is a mine there. There's also, obviously, a couple in Africa and a few other places. But, yeah, basically get that land and then just build that up. Not too difficult. I mean, it's under hard, and this is one I could move under medium. I guess you have got to do quite a few things. Having a 500+ heavy cavalry unit is going to be pretty expensive, but if your capital barony is giving you 60 plus income. It's not too crazy, but this one would be pretty fun to do. Like No One Ever Was, another Pokemon reference. Finish all tracks in the Hastulda trait. On one character, I presume it means. It doesn't say that here, but I'm guessing it does mean on one character. That one will be quite hard, I would imagine, because you've got to finish, what, all 4 of them? That is going to be pretty difficult to do. Ahab, succeed a legendary hunt. Again, we haven't seen how difficult the legendary hunts are, and I think they are, again, expansion exclusive, so we'll obviously see how they play out once we get our hands on the expansion, and you've just got to kill one of the legendary hunts, so we'll see how that one works out. And then the last one, Little William Marshall, win every contest in a tournament with at least 3 contests. Okay, so easier said than done, but with persistence, you too might become a legend similar to William Marshall himself. I have no idea who William Marshall is. I'm going to have to look that up now. It's probably someone super famous and I've just never heard of them. But this one, you're going to win every contest in a tournament with at least 3 contests. So yeah, you won't be able to do this early in the game. As I've said, as you progress through the eras, that's how you get them. So there we go. That's all the achievements coming with a free patch and the DLC itself. Let me know which one you're thinking of doing. I will be starting a campaign on the channel on Thursday when the DLC comes out. I'll probably be focusing on one of these achievements. I haven't decided yet which one, but you know, tune in and watch so you can kind of follow along and see how well we do. I'm also going to be showing off, obviously, all the new content in there, so if there's something you're interested in seeing, you'll be able to see kind of how that plays out in the game. If you're thinking of taking a look before you purchase it or anything like that, do tune in and you'll be able to see. So make sure to hit the like button if you've enjoyed today's video, just showing off the achievements. As always, I cover the dev diaries and I do campaigns and news on Crusader Kings and other historical titles. So subscribe if you're new here and you enjoyed it. There'll be plenty more in the future. But at that point, we'll leave it there. I'll see you in the next one.